All right, welcome to the Church Dropout podcast. My name is Alan, and Church Dropout is a podcast. We talk about issues, topics, and teachings related to faith, life, and culture in ways that are sometimes funny, sometimes serious, but always insightful. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below. Keep the conversation moving forward. And I told you I was going to do the introduction last, and I almost messed up. I'm joined by
Lisa.
You was looking at me because you was about to cut in.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Okay.
You had it?
Yeah, I messed that up, but it's all good. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, imagine we were a part of a church community, a Sunday gathering community, and we walked to the mailbox and pulled out our mail. We sorted through the stack of mail, and we got a letter from our church, and we opened it up, and it was a collections notice.
Like the bill collector, like
A collections notice.
Wow.
Telling us that we owe some money, and that we are required, if we're going to attend, we are required to pay dollars.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a story that I came across on TikTok. It's an old story, but anyway, it was of a woman who received a letter from the church saying that she owed some money and that she had to pay a certain amount per month to be a part, and even pay for their upcoming anniversary service type deal, and crazy.
Wow, Alan.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I wouldn't. Well, I don't even want to give a comment yet.
No,
Let me just
go ahead. It's cool.
I couldn't. First of all, before I became a member, was this even told to me? Like, you know what I mean? I would not want to be caught off guard, getting a collection notice and being like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I can understand if I signed something and I made a promise to do all of those, that's something totally different. So, I don't know. Let's see. Is that the situation? Is it going to talk about that?
I don't think it's going to say anything about, and we could listen, but I don't think it's going to say anything about the, how she, was there a membership process or anything like that where this came up. But yeah, I would agree with you. Like, there's a couple things like, and we could talk about it after, like I know a church that, anyway, yeah, we could talk about it after, but we're going to watch the video here of just the news, report, because the news picked it up, which is a very interesting thing,
right?
That the local news picked up the story and reported on it, and so we'll listen to this, and then we'll have some dialogue about it. All right, here we go.
Some members of a Tampa church are telling us they are fed up because their church is sending them collection notices. And as ABC Action News reporter Cameron Polam tells us, they're venting that anger in a very public way on the church's Facebook page.
People was very friendly there, and I really enjoyed being there.
Candace Peterson says finding the Greater Mount Moriah Primitive Baptist Church was a blessing. The single mother had been looking for a church closer to her new home, and 6 months in, things were going perfect. That is until this letter arrived at her home late last week.
To be a member in good standing and have the right to vote, adults are to contribute the minimum amount of $50 per month.
It was from the church saying she was delinquent in her financial support.
$50 per month. Now, this shocked me because I haven't heard about the $50 per month. So where did you get this from? Then Mount Moriah Day is on there, $150.
The letter also says Peterson would be responsible for a church anniversary fee of $250, a total of $1,000 in required donations per year. Peterson says she was told the fees help pay off church debt.
What church charged you to, help pay off what they're going through. I'm not there for that.
And many seem to be agreeing with Peterson, taking to the church's Facebook page to voice their concerns. A church administrator acknowledged the letter came from them. They also told us the pastor was unavailable. We still left several messages and have not heard back. In the meantime, Peterson is searching for a new church.
Like you put me like, oh, if you want to be a member of this church, you need to pay this.
Or if you want to find God.
Yeah, if you want to find God. That don't say anything about that in the Bible.
And again, that was our Cameron Poland reporting. Peterson, meanwhile, says she has no plans to reach out to the church, and the pastor still has not responded to our calls.
All right. Well,
Man, I don't know if you guys were able to see the increments, and there was even a youth fee on there. And it was $5 a month for a youth fee. That was just the first line. I didn't get to catch it all. So like, that's crazy. So it was $50 a month. And then $250 or $150 for the Mount Moriah Day, which I guess is the church anniversary.
yeah, like a
And
picnic or something.
then it was what, $250 to go towards debt or whatever to pay off the church.
Yeah. Craziness.
So they're expecting $250 plus $150. That's what, $450.
Yeah, they said it equals
Or
out to maybe
$500.
$1,000 a year, I guess. I don't know. Some of those are one-time things, and I guess.
Oh, you pay it once. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And that was just the adult portion, but there was a breakdown for youth, and it had 3 different lines too.
Yeah.
So it was probably $5 a month for the youth, $50 a month for the youth service, $150 to go towards the kids going to school.
Yeah.
I don't know, but wow,
It's crazy. I mean,
that is very crazy.
There's so much that could be said about this, right? Because it can go so many different ways for me, right? Like, to be honest, tithing today in church really is just a membership fee. The way it's thought about, it's a membership fee. And I'm not saying that the people who are practicing it are looking at it that way, you know, but most of the time when you ask a church that you go to about tithes, they're going to say it goes to the operations of the church, right? And so, yeah, I mean, it's no different than, you know, you paying for a gym membership and you get to access all of the stuff that happens, you know, at the gym. Now, it being enforced this way is problematic. On the other side, I'm thinking about like the consumerist mindset, right? I'm thinking about like, if a church has all of these amenities and has all of these things, you know, for people to participate in, you know, because obviously they're spending money on the building, you know, the pizza don't pay for itself with with the youth ministry, right? Like, you know, books and all of this, all that stuff costs. But then you have people who are taking advantage of that and not pouring back into that at all.
right.
You know, the church probably got mad, was like, listen, we doing all of this and y'all ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and so I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that like, as the church, just as much as the church has grown to become a building, Christians have grown to become consumeristic. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the church functions like a business, and the people who are in the church function like consumers. They go to the church that best serves them in the same way they go to the grocery store that best serves them. You know what I mean? Like they will, you know, so it's just really, really interesting, you know, but from the perspective of like, man, her just receiving a letter.
Yeah, and first of all, she said she was new to the church. So, I mean, how long do you have to be there before you get that letter? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, Lisa. Maybe. Well, it depends on how you define new.
Right.
Because if she came once in January and then came the next time she showed up was in August, she'd still be considered new.
True. But
I'm just playing. But
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Even if she came every Sunday for 3 months,
yeah,
you know what I mean? That's still new. You know what I mean? And we don't even know what her financial is. She could be, you know, she could just be a single person, doesn't have, you know, just
have
work,
that income. Yeah.
right? You know, just can't afford that, or she could be married and have kids, but still, you know what I mean? It could be a one income household. Like, I mean, but everybody gets the same amount. Like that's
Well, I don't know. Maybe you hit something. Maybe they don't. You know, maybe people get different amounts. You know what I'm saying? So,
but I feel like in order for that to go out, then that means they have to know what you are making. So
not
that's
necessarily.
Well, I mean, for them to decide, okay, well, Ashley must pay $500 a month, and Kenneth only pays $100 a month.
Yeah, to do that, yes,
right.
You know, but I mean, to come up with like a general number, like to say $1,000 a year, you just need to know what the median is for households within that particular county, and just say, okay, this is a number that people can afford. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I'm telling you, like, this type of stuff happens. So when people are asking for stuff, they're not asking because they don't have data. Like most of the time when your church is asking for something and they're looking at how much they're charging and they're doing that based upon what the median income is and understanding, right? So that's why, you know, like in a certain place, you know, they'll charge for $30 for a retreat, and then you look at a church that's going to the retreat at the same grounds, and that church is going to charge $250 because they know the people can pay it there. They know what their people could pay over here. But but yeah, you know, it's just sad that is what people see.
Yeah.
That's what the church is about. Right. It's about collecting tithes and offerings or money in order to keep the system moving forward. And like I said, like I know of a church, and this church was strong doctrinally, at least that, you know, they held to what would be considered to be orthodox doctrine. You know, so when you desire to become a member of that particular community, the elders will go and meet with your family. And one of the requirements is that you would have to show your W-2s. And so they would say, no, this is what you guys should be given. This is what we should see in our records. I don't know who would sign up for that, but there were people. The church was a pretty substantial sized church. And so people were okay doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's not an uncommon practice.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but again, I think this goes back to what we talked about before. Like, if we're going to treat the church like a business, then treat it like a business. Just go all the way with it. Why are we playing these games?
And if you if you have enough gusto, maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
Good word.
To send out that letter, then you should have enough gusto to respond to and stand up for it. Yeah, we sent out this letter. This is what we gonna do.
Yeah.
This is what's needed. This is what needs to be done. If you're gonna be a member of this church, this is what, like,
stand on business.
Right, exactly. Don't not answer phone calls. I'm just,
got the news knocking at the door.
Right.
Yeah,
you know, but honestly, I feel like that there's a sneakiness behind that, because nobody should be getting that letter and not knowing that this letter would be coming if X, Y, and Z is not taken care of. You know what I mean?
I'm not sure I understand that.
I don't feel like I just feel like nobody should be getting that letter not knowing that this is a type of letter that could come out if they don't do what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yes, I get you. It is probably an intimidation tactic, you know, and
because are you literally going to send me to collections? Like, well, I mean, you know what I mean?
Well, you can't do it legally.
No, right.
But you can shame a person.
Yeah.
Which is what that letter would do. You know, you know, which is probably what that letter is meant to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I could not imagine. I could not imagine getting a collections notice. Now, I will say though, you know, working for churches, being on staff of churches and stuff like that, like, I hate to say it, you know, but a lot of times behind all of this stuff, it's not spiritual in the sense of, and I know this is not about staff, but it's not spiritual in the sense of like your convictions are leading you to do those things. Sometimes these things are done out of responsibility, right? It's done out of your position and, You see what I'm saying? And this is kind of the same in that sense of like, if you're a member, you're supposed to do these things. And that's not being compelled by the love of God. That's being compelled by, coercion or you understand what I'm saying? And so, again, like, I think this is the problem with modern church culture. I think it breeds this. Like, I just think that, this pastor is probably a little bit more, or this church is a little bit more bold in how they're approaching this situation, but it's really, it's really no difference. Like, when the church shows at the end of the year, look at all of the things that we've done. They have that video rolling and they show all of the things that they've given to, all of the stuff that they've built, all the ministries that they've blessed, all the people that they've helped, and all the events that they've had and all of that type stuff, and then they, say, hey, in order for us to continue to do this and continue to serve you, continue to serve our community, we need you to do X. It's no different. It's, you know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just being done in a different way. You know what I mean? And so, and that's where it's just like, you can't fault people for not wanting to be a part of that. Even if it's done like in a tasteful way, you can't fault people for saying, listen, I'd rather not have my offering go to a building or maintaining a building.
Yeah.
Or maintaining activity, right? I'd rather give it to the persecuted church. I'd rather give it, you understand what I'm saying? Like, now, should a person be taking advantage of all the things that church is offering? See, that's, you got to reckon with that too. It's unfair, to some degree, if you're attending a community and you're taking advantage of all of the stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then yet you're not, giving anything back to that. Well, okay, I think that's that consumerism mindset, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. I just could not imagine receiving a letter in the mail from a church saying you owe, and here's a detailed breakdown. Like, it took time.
Yes.
A detailed breakdown. So
I'd like to know if somebody else has received letters like that from, a different church, or, because that would just shock me. I've never heard this before, ever. So,
yeah, I'm going on a limb. I know some of our folks are going to be like, oh yeah, that's normal. I mean, listen, the church's name is Primitive, and so which it means old. Like kind of older. Traditional, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't no telling what tradition they following.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's a crazy, like these names. That's a crazy name to name a church.
What was it? Greater
Primitive.
No, it was Greater Mount Moriah Primitive Baptist Church, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Greater Mount Moriah. It couldn't just be Mount Moriah. It got to be Greater Mount Moriah. Primitive.
That's them greater fees right there.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. You show like that.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, we would love to hear what you think. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below. Keep the conversation moving forward. That is it. Another edition of Church Dropout. We'll talk to you soon.
Good night.